Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, a lot of news has surfaced this week during our coverage of the National Association of County Ag Agents in Billings. One of the big stories, of course, for livestock producers was USDA announcement that they'll begin a phased reopening of southern borders for cattle, bison, and equine imports coming from Mexico starting on Monday the 7th. The ports, of course, are closed in May due to the concerns about the New World screwworm. However, certain areas in Mexico will now be able to send their livestock over. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins says Mexico has made progress, including ramped up surveillance, sterile fly dispersal, and tighter animal movement controls. The first port to reopen will be Douglas, Arizona, followed by others in New Mexico and Texas all the way through mid-September. Other big news that you may have heard about is the Senate passage of the reconciliation bill. It passed by a vote of 51 to 50 with Vice President J.D. Vance casting that tie-breaking vote. One of the most applauded provisions was permanently extending the 2017 Trump tax cuts. Other key priorities to the ag industry included increases in the death tax exemption, strengthening funding for the foreign animal disease prevention programs, expanding eligibility and payments for grazing losses on federal lands due to drought or wildfire, compensation for livestock losses due to wolves, bears, and eagles, and the investment of $1 billion in conveyance facility improvements for irrigation. The bill also raises reference prices under the PLC and the ARC programs. Now, the Senate bill has also been sent over to the House for final passage, with President Trump hoping to have it signed into law by tomorrow. And getting a little closer to home, MSU has some big news and leadership changes coming to their College of Ag. Carl Yeoman, who has led the Montana State University Animal and Range Sciences Department for the past 4 years, has assumed a new position as MSU's Associate Vice President of Research and Economic Development. Tim Delcurto will step into the head role of the Animal and Range Science Department after serving 9 years with MSU, with his most recent title as Nancy Carmen Endowed Chair in the range beef cattle production. In addition, the Plant Science and Plant Pathology Department will also be under the direction of Dr. Ryan Thum. Of course, this week we also saw the first week for MSU's new president, Dr. Brock Tessman, as he succeeds Dr. Wadad Cruzado after her 15 years of service. Well, when you take a quick break, we're going to come back and look at your ag markets right after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, cash cattle sales inched just above last week's trends, with feedlots eager to move some cattle during the dog days of summer. Of course, traders' knee-jerk reaction to the USDA announcement of cattle imports from Mexico starting as soon as Monday did not play any favors for the feedlots. However, one market that did was the box beef prices continuing to climb to the $4 per pound price peak. And the story of local auctions is probably going to be pretty few and far in between for the near future, as many auction barns are taking a week to recoup over the holiday area. One market to note, though, however, is today's deadline of the Northern Livestock Video Auction Summertime Classic. That 3-day sale will be taking place in Billings July 21st through the 23rd. And the spring wheat futures continue to be the bull of the wheat complex, driven by the lower year-over-year acreage and the expanding drought concerns for Montana, Idaho, and eastern Washington. Winter wheat prices were also able to shake off the harvest pressure on Wednesday, riding a wave of overarching grain market positivity to close higher as double digits as well. Now, the soybeans actually led the charge for the row crops, finding the strength on a couple of different fronts. First, it's the tight U.S. soybean oil stocks confirmed in Tuesday's fats and oils report from USDA led to a gap chart higher on the soybean oil futures. Markets also furthered their gains when the Trump administration announced a trade deal has been reached with Vietnam, consistently a top 10 buyer of U.S. ag products. Well, that's going to do it for our Ag TV here on Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.